Alright, what's up everyone? I've had a couple people ask me about a tutorial on doing the straps on a D6 or similar smartwatch. So go ahead and try to show you how I did it. Everybody's process might be different. So basically with this type of strap here that I have, you've got one large strap underneath and you've got these little I don't know what you call it, intermediate straps, I guess, that connect it to the main strap here, like so. So put that to the side. And basically what you've got is, look at that, these D6s, the back cases aren't that great on these things. I want to get a new one if I can. But anyways, pop this off here. Busted. Oh well. Let's see if I can get some super glue and glue it and get a new back case for that, or back cover for that later, but I don't know if you can see that there. So yeah, be careful on these D6s because these back covers are very, very brittle, it seems like, fragile, and as you charge them up, they heat up, they'll just get more brittle. So be careful taking them off, but it's nothing that a little super glue or something like that couldn't fix for now, for temporary fix. So just put that aside. Alright, now actually, let me make sure, I don't think this is off yet. Make sure your watch is off. Sure it's off. Pull your battery, just grab it, pull it out. Alright, what we got here is we got 4 screws around this plastic bezel here, holds the board in. So, let's see what I got for that. Pull these 4 screws out. Sometimes they don't come out as easy the first time you pull them because they're kind of, you get caught on this plastic bit. They're completely unseated from the metal bezel, but plastic will sometimes hold them in. Just like that. Kind of hold it in there. Just grab hold of them. If you can't, pull them out. If you can't, you'll probably be able to pop the bezel off with them in there still, but so. Alright, now you leave your SIM card in there, it's not a big deal. The next thing is this little plastic shield in here. That's just glued on there, and a little bit of hot air, you know, like with the hair dryer, and I have a heat gun, I have a hair dryer too that'll work well sometimes too if you don't want to use such intense heat, but basically what we're going to do is just pull that off there. So Alright, I'll grab my glasses. I'm an old guy, so I need glasses. Alright, so I'm going to take this, just come in here, and on this side, I think it's this side here, there is a shield, which is not attached to anything, so you can just kind of gently pull it off there. You know, had it off already, so it's going to kind of just come off there. Let's get in here, put your hand in there, and gotta just peel it off. And it's this side. It's this side. It's the Wi-Fi. Shield. This Wi-Fi shield. You can see here. There's a little tab that tucks up underneath the bezel. So when you put it back on, usually before you put the bezel on, you'll stick this kind of in there, stick this little shield on there, and then tuck that tab up underneath the bezel and just put it back down on it. You know, so since it's loose already, that's what I'm gonna do. Kind of show you here if I can. Make sure you get your little connectors for your heart rate, which is here. Pull those up so you don't tear them. These aren't too fragile, but they will tear easily if you're heavy-handed. So come in there. And your power here. Get under it like that. Get a tweezer or a very small, fine screwdriver. Just get up under it. It's just glued on there. For the first time, you might want to use a heat gun. You know, put a little heat on it. That'll soften up the glue. And that glue should stay tacky when you go to put it back on. So you just stick it back on there. So get that away. Get this away. All right. Get this up a little bit so you can see what you're doing. Now, you're going to want to remove this, you don't need to remove it, but you want to get it up from the board before you start prying out your bezel, because if you start prying out the bezel, it's just going to stick to the bits of the board, and it's not really tacky stuff, it's just a little tiny bit of sticky stuff on there to make it stick on there. So, and then the best way I found, I think it was, it might have been this side here. Was it that side? Was it this? Yeah, I think it was. It was this side I started from. You're popping your bezel out. You come in here, let's see if we got the right side. This should work here. So you come in here on this side and feel a little. Start kind of gently popping your bezel out. And let's snap a little bit. I've had it out before, so it's a little more. Easier to kind of grab it out of there. And all your wires and stuff are underneath this bezel, and there's cutouts in it, so that as you pull this off there, you're not going to rip anything out of there, so I'll show you what I mean here in a second. Sorry if my hand gets in the way, I'm just trying to get this up out of there. Be careful with the screwdriver, don't get in there and start prying stuff up and, you know, start gurgling stuff out of there. Be gentle with it. Here we go. And if you have like a, what do you call them, like a spudger, a plastic spudger or something, you know, you might want to use that. If you're careful, you just kind of go around a little bit, and it'll just come out of there. Got a little sticky on there. Stick it to it. Watch this stuff here. Just gonna, this goes underneath that. So pull that out of there, and then you see this little tab here comes underneath, and it's just a shielding for this here. So this is your, I believe this is your, like, your wireless card here. So I'm not sure on that. Maybe if you guys know more than I do about it, you can tell me, you let me know. I think that's your, basically your Wi-Fi card. Okay. So heart rate, power, Wi-Fi card. And then here's your GSM antennas over here, right here. So, and that goes into your band here, alright, which is going to go, I think it was this side, the side that has no holes. It goes in here, like so. And it's glued in there. So basically all they do is they'll make this band here, right, they got the little, here's your mount for the wire. You can see the little cutout where the wire goes through, and they put this all together, basically fill it with glue, and then just kind of probably slide that in there, and just, you know, it's in there. When I originally took this out, I took the strap off first, remove, you know, you just compress your spring bars. They just got regular spring bars like a regular watch, so you compress those, it pulls out. And I had this all off first so I could see, okay, you know, you disconnect your GSM here. Just pops off like that. It's just a regular GSM antenna mount, like you would find on a wireless card in a computer or something. It's got the little round bit there. I don't know if you can see. Try to get it closer. I don't know if the camera's focusing or not because I can't really see, but you guys will just have to let me know in the video how it looks. So anyways, that pops up like that, and you got your spring bars here, which, you know, I won't take those out, but the way this strap works, it's got these nice little flaps on it that I can take. And there's your GSM antenna there. So there's the antenna. It's just like a regular antenna. You know, be very careful when you're pulling this out of this strap. Okay? Because I didn't know the configuration, I sort of took this strap here and just sort of cut along the sides. But now that I know the configuration, what I would do is you can take an X-Acto knife. If you're fairly sure, be very careful, because this sits barely in the center. Just take an X-Acto knife and cut as close to this seam as you can from here. Being careful not to cut your wire. Alright, but as close to this seam as you can, you would cut, you know, cut this side. Then you might want to just, as you're doing it, use a heat gun, get this peeled up a bit, and then start cutting, you know, kind of peel, look, okay, here's my wire, and then cut, because essentially you could take, and if it's cut nice and neat, you can peel this up with a heat gun, pull out your antenna. If you wanted to reuse this strap, you just get some fabric, glue it back down, and you're good to go. You can use it for something else. I don't know how well this mount would incorporate into a different watch, but if you say you wanted to use it again with your D6 or similar smartwatch, you could do that. So that one was taking the strap off and pulling this off here, getting this all out, and then resetting it back in here. Now, when I took it out, I actually, because I was doing it for the first time, I actually cut into this a little bit. I didn't get a good GSM signal, so I had to do a scrape away. Right here, you can see the black tape. I had to scrape away where it was broken and just resoldered it so that it made a you know, so it was connected all the way around, and then my GSM came back. So be very careful. Now, if you can solder, if you're good at soldering small stuff and doing stuff like that, you know, okay. But if you're not, be extremely careful when taking this out, because this is very flimsy, and this will rip and tear extremely easily. You can wreck this really easily. So, I even did it up here when I was pulling it out. This little corner piece, so I had to resolder some little tiny bits in here to get it to work again. But, small little hiccup that we got through it. So that's your antenna. And once you get this cover off here and your strap is removed, get the spring bars out, you can just unclip this and pull the whole thing off, and it'll come with it. So, same for this other side here, which we'll go through. I'm going to put this back on here now, real quick. So, again, let's see. Put that back on there. You got a little, there's a little rubber bit that goes on top to help compress it down and keep it held down when you put your bezel back on. So, alright, so we got that. Now I just drilled, you know, just punched rather a couple little holes in the leather so that could go through. Now if you're doing this on a regular type strap, what you could do is you could take this and you could glue it onto there, and if you had another piece of leather or fabric, use some fabric glue to cover it up, you know, unless you can actually get into the strap to do it. Like I was saying, if you cut along the seams here on a normal strap, just cut along it, because most watch straps, they're not just, it's not just a piece of leather, it's a couple different layers of leather. Like this one is, you know, it's two different pieces, but then they use a process to cover the seam. So this would actually be, if I took it apart, it'd be two pieces that you pull apart. But, so yeah, if you cut it, peel it back, you could glue it in there, use a little fabric glue, you know, clamp it or put it in some kind of clamp, a clothespin, you know, whatever. Leave it overnight, or however long it takes to set, you know, give it a good set time. And then you could use a different style strap. If you don't want to cut the strap, just glue it on there, get a piece of leather or nice material that you like, something soft, so when it's gonna on your arm it's nice and soft, and just use some fabric glue and go over it. Make sure you leave a little bit of slack, you know, millimeter, tiny, a little bit like that, a couple millimeters of slack, so that as it's moving around it's got a little bit of slack. Alright, so now that that's back on, we'll go over this side, which is the Wi-Fi. You got your Wi-Fi here. Here's your GPS antenna. Now these are soldered in, alright? These are soldered in, so if you remove your strap here on this side, don't go trying to lift it up out of there, because you ain't going to lift it up out of there. Alright, but what you can do, so this was on this side, I think. So this strap here. But the nice thing about these is that they're just wires. See, these are just wires. So here's your GPS and Wi-Fi, or sorry, your Bluetooth and Wi-Fi here. Right? There's no clunky stuff on the end zone that's going to get torn off or anything. And here's your, what was that? A GPS. Okay? So you got your GPS antenna here. So, in theory, technically, what I did was I cut it out. If I'd have known, you know, because I didn't know what was in there. Now, if I'd have known, I'd have just heated this up real good. Basically, just, you know, pull it out, and there you go. And then this strap is still intact and nice, you know. Kind of tore it up getting it out of there, but you know, that's what happens, so no big deal. You know, then I punched holes in this bit, ran them through, and originally what I did was I took and I desoldered these off there, so when my strap was taken off, I just was able to take the whole strap off and work with it, you know, to see what was going on with it. So, and then once I realized that, oh, it was just a couple little wires, I was like, oh, okay, I just resoldered them back on there. So, you got your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS antenna, and you just, the same would go like if you've got a band like this, right, that you want to put on there. What you could do is you could take a couple little, you know, make a couple little holes, and then get these as straight as possible. If you're good at soldering, pull them off there, you know. and just slip them down in there. You know, take something real thin, like a very, very thin screwdriver, you know, something thinner than this. Kind of just make a little, burrow a little hole area in there on each side. And you can run your wires down in there, or again, if you don't want to do anything like that, you can just run your wires here. Use a little, I use a little two-sided sticky tape to keep them on there. And when this is closed over, they just sit right in there. They don't move out or anything. So you can do the same thing. A little two-sided sticky tape, set them on there, and then again a piece of leather or soft material, go over the top. Just use some fabric glue. Leave yourself a little slack so when it's bending, it's not going to disconnect from there. You're good to go. Now, a metal strap isn't going to work quite as well because the metal, I've seen a couple guys, they tried to take and put the GSM and the antennas inside here. And I did that too. I took this GSM antenna and I actually had it inside. I fitted these wires back inside the watch and closed it all back up so there was no straps on it. You just looked like a regular watch. Just no signal. Just really bad signal. So I said, I can't do that. And just put everything back out on the outside. So that's how you do that basically, guys. So this is all your stuff here. There's not a whole lot to it. The GSM, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth antennas are just wires for the most part for this watch. I would assume that they would be pretty much the same for other devices as well. So, but use caution when you're taking them apart because you can wreck stuff really easy because this stuff is really small and delicate. And getting parts for these watches probably not real mainstream yet, so be extremely careful. And that's pretty much it. So we'll go through the process of just sticking it back together real quick and turn it on, test it out, make sure everything's working correctly after I've taken it apart again, after already doing it, so that I can give you guys a tutorial, but that's okay. I forgive you. Alright, so let's get this here. Now again, when you're pulling this off, if this comes off of there, like if you're pulling this little plastic bit out, and this comes off there, don't panic, just stick it back on there. Nope. Throw that back over the side there, and go to put it back on. So you might find it a little more difficult to slip these through this area here, but just, you know, no big deal. Just take your time, do it, and you'll be alright. So, forgive me if I cover this up a bit, because get this stuff back in here. If I can. Maybe what I'll do is this. Here. Just take this. Pull this up a bit. Oh, let's see if that came off. Oh well. That should happen. So. Stick it back like this. Best thing to remember is don't panic. Just take your time. Do it right. Do it slow. That way you don't have to fix mistakes like I did the first time, you know. And I tried this too when I put it back on there. Didn't have that tucked up all underneath there the way I wanted to, and it was fine. It was okay. So the thing is that you want to sit on top of those little ridges here. There's a little another little shelves that this sits on top of. So you kind of want that in there like that. Oh, and here's your speaker. Your speaker's in here. Here's your contacts for your speaker. Put your right here. Let's see right here. 1, 2, positive, negative. Alright. Your speaker. Your speaker is housed actually inside here. Don't see. It looks like you could probably. Looks like there's a little cover here that you could pop off to get at that if you wanted to. So it's got a pretty decent speaker inside of it. I'm not even monkey with that. Just leave it the way it is. Now, let's see if I can do this in a timely manner so that this video is not running too long here. Let's go this way. That, and this goes like this. So you want to get it under there. That, and this fits on there. It's sticky, so it's hard to handle. This is losing a little bit of its stickiness too, so it doesn't stick down there like I really like it to. That's alright. What I'm going to do is just put it back on. And these in here. It's hard because everything's so small. Like I said, you don't necessarily need to have that tucked up under there. It'll work if you can't get it up under there, so don't sweat it if you can't do it. I'm just real, I like things a certain way, so I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that are just the exact same. Let's see, right there. Try to have decent tools when you're doing this. You know, you've got actually restore and repair old watches, so we've got a lot of materials I need and stuff I need to do this stuff. So check here. There's a little cutout in this bezel for your wire. Make sure you're not pinching your wire. Alright. Even either if you got a little magnifying glass or something, take a look at it. Make sure. Should be able to eye it out too if you got good eyes. My eyes are bad, so probably from years and years of doing all this little work with your eyes, stressing them out. That looks okay. Just gonna go stick it on there, right? And check this side. There's little cutouts for your wires. There, your wires. Just, everything looks cool. Just snap it back down in place. Snappity snap. Okay, looks good. Go around this. Make sure it's on this shelf sitting in there nice and easy. And take your charger bit. Stick it back down on there. Now if this becomes, you know, not as sticky or untacky, use a little bit of kind of tacky rubber cement. If you can use some really good rubber cement, kind of like an industrial style rubber cement, that would be the best. Nothing too major so that you can't get it off again if you need to. You just stick back on there like that. So there's a little bit of a glue there. Glue. Like this. So, back. Like that. Everything's all where it needs to be. Everything's all clipped nice in place. Right? Alright, we're going to get our screws back. Whoops. Cat fight. Cat fight. Sorry about that. My wife's got cats, so, you know. Grab this. Little screws. Careful not to lose your screws. If you lose a screw, don't sweat it. You know, you probably make do with two. You actually probably make do with two, one in each corner, but if you can keep them all, that's obviously the best. My hobby with watch repair and restoration, I lose screws that... Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Tape ran out, or memory, or whatever you want to call it. So, anyways, where we were, got the screws back in, so it's just putting those screws back in. So, you have to get your screws back in. You know, careful not to lose any, like I was saying. You know, hopefully I got a chance to actually look and listen to that other part of the video. So, it was kind of quiet, so hopefully I'll speak up a little bit. You can hear me a little better. Let me know. I'm going to obviously run this into the last part of the video where I ran out of... I'm going to get 30 minutes of time to record on that camera that I'm using, so I'll just cut this into the other stuff and just kind of move right along. So, yeah, get your screws back in, get all your stuff down. And get all your stuff here, and then get your battery. Put your battery back in. So, stick it down in there, and get your cover, which is cracked. I showed you earlier. It's cracked. Come on, D6. Let's go, number one. Let's get something going with these battery covers. get a metal cover or something that you can actually screw down on there that's nice and durable. This is a nice device. It really is. I really enjoy this device. I like it. So, all right. Anyways, snap that back down on there. Make sure it's on. I'll pull this off later and I super glue it or something. Not that that's going to help any, but you know, whatever. So, okay. We have our strap. And this. Snap back down on there. This on here. See on the other part that didn't get recorded because I ran out of time. With these bands here, you can find these bands on eBay and different places. Just go on eBay or I'll search online, whatever, for a military cuff band. You should be able to find a whole bunch of different types of these bands, rather. And this one works out really well. I use these for my mechanical watches that I repair and restore. I really like the way they look. They don't look all thin, and you know, like when you have a watch, you know, like this, it just doesn't look right with the little thin straps. This strap's actually not too bad, but most of the ones you get, they're thin and they just don't look right. So it looks really nice on top of this style of band. Gives it a nice, you know, stance or look, however you want to call it. So just look a lot nicer, in my opinion. You know, everybody's different. So I'll get this back on here. Make sure all your screws are tight. Make sure everything's on right. And like I say, just whatever you think's gonna work for you. Just about any leather band's gonna work. A metal band probably not gonna work as good because it's gonna cut out that signal. So you might be able to get a metal band to work, but I don't think metal band's really gonna do it justice. So. Clean up all our tools, clean your workspace, complete workspace, which I'm not very good at. So, okay, I got that all back together. Test everything out, which I did in the other part, but it got cut out, so I'll do this. Let's turn this back on. Back on, let it boot up, and test everything out, like the Wi-Fi, GPS, phone signal. I already did that, everything works fine. I'll just do this so I can show you here. I've got another camera that actually records on mini digital video tape, which would actually probably work better, but just have to learn to keep my videos shorter. So it's hard when you want to be thorough though. Boot. Okay. There's our launch. Obviously.
And how's it working?
It works fine. Alright, sorry about that guys. This time it was my battery on my camera went out, so to see this cut into stuff or whatever, it's nothing major. I'm just having a few technical difficulties, as they say. So got our watch powered all back on. It's all powered on. So what you want to do is you want to make sure everything works. Just test everything. Test our Wi-Fi signal. You know, go online, test it out, make sure everything's going to work okay. There's Yahoo. So got all that, seems to be working alright. What do we got here? Complete list of 2016 Emmy winners, if you're interested in that kind of thing. Not really. So, yeah, it looks like when you scroll through, everything works okay. So, got good Wi-Fi. Good. Check. Next would be GPS. So break out your Google Maps or whatever you use for location. Check it. Okay, looks good. It's giving me my location. So that tells me GPS is working okay. Check. Alright, next is going to be phone. So, phone. And let's see. Phone. Call. And I can hear it ringing in the other room. Hey honey, I'm just testing out the phone, make sure all the phone features work and all that stuff. Okay, great. Alright, thanks honey.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so phone works. That's good. So everything works. Wi-Fi, GPS, GSM, and you're good to go. So yeah, that's it guys. That's pretty much how you do your custom band on the D6. So yeah, just be careful when you're doing it. You know, take your time, go slow, and you should be fine. I'll leave you guys with that. And thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, if you found the video useful, if you found it helpful. If you have any questions or comments about it, just go ahead and leave them in the comments section, and I'll see if I can get back to them as quick as I can. So other than that, have fun with your custom band installation, whatever you decide to do, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.